Welcome everyone to the clash between Bibisara Assaubayeva and Vaishali. A very interesting clash in round 1 of the FIDE Candidates 2026. Bibisara, one of the top female players in the world, known for her speed chess, two-time World Blitz champion. Vaishali, well, on her good day, she can actually just completely blast through the field like she's done in Grand Swiss. Clearly a very explosive encounter. We can expect a lot of fighting chess. The players are ready here. A handshake, and the time control is slightly different from the open section. It's 90 minutes plus 30-second increment with 30 moves at the 30 minutes after end of 40 moves. E4, C5. We have the Sicilian from the get-go. And here knight comes out to F3. And Bibisara goes knight to C6, controlling the center, and pawn to D4 played. Pawn takes pawn, and we have the open Sicilian knight takes. Now knight F6 would lead to the Sveshnikov here, but she goes directly E5. We call it the Kalashnikov. The main move is knight b5, but knight e2 is played. One of the big experts of this line is Nodirbek Abdusattorov, and he goes knight f6 played here, attacking the e4 pawn, and knight c3, defending it, also keeping an eye on the d5 square. Now, this is the thing that happens in these openings. The d5 square becomes a weakness, but on the other hand, black has space in the center, pieces are well developed. White goes knight g3, aiming at the f5 square. Pawn to d6 played, opening up the bishop. You can see Bibisara playing slightly slower than Vaishali. Pawn to d6, and now we have knight a4, hitting the bishop here on c5. Tricky stuff for this bishop, you don't want to part away with it. So bishop b4 check, making its way back this way. Yes, the bishop is a bit misplaced, but so is the knight on a4. You have c3, and the bishop goes back to a5. And can we go b4 here is the question. Goes bishop e2, just developing calmly, finishing your development there. And now a6 played. Is b5 a threat to trap the knight? Maybe you have to be careful for that move as Vaishali. She does go b4. And you can see she's blitzing out her moves, which means she's still in her prep. Bishop goes back to c7. And now castles, because the knight does have a square on b2. Black also castles here. And now maybe bishop e3, just getting the pieces out. She goes queen to d3. I think Vaishali is a bit worried about the d5 break, so she's preparing for it. Also, d5 directly can get hit by bishop g5, which is a very nice move. So that's the reason why bishop e6 is played, in order to push the pawn to d5. Rook comes to d1, keeping an eye in the center. H6 played here to just control the g5 square, so that bishop g5 is no longer a problem. And now bishop to e3 played by Vaishali. And let's see what Bibisara does. She brings her rook to b8. I think she's just trying to control the b6 square. In the future, maybe b5 followed by quick a5 could be on her mind. So knight goes back to b2. And what a complex game this is. While white has to watch out for d5, white is also threatening c4. You have b5 played here. I mean, you want to play c4, but the b4 pawn is hanging, so goes a3, defending that pawn. And Bibisara goes knight g4, attacking this bishop here. Vaishali does away with it. So now black has the bishop pair. And she'll take back with the bishop. Bishop takes g4. And I mean, you can play your pawn to f3. But it already feels like black is sort of taking over slightly. Rook d2 played. And Bibisara can come back with her bishop. Yes. Oh, she goes knight e7 first. And maybe Vaishali goes pawn to c4. A strong move. Playing in the center. Bishop to e6 played. Putting pressure on the c4 pawn. You have rook to c1. And now, yes, beautiful move by black. f5. I think Bibisara Assaubayeva is playing very high quality chess here. She's making all the best moves. She's putting Vaishali under pressure. Pawn takes pawn taken. And now knight takes f5. Taken here. I guess you want to take the knight. Knight takes on f5. And maybe bishop f5 allows this check. I don't think it's a big problem, but rook f5 is more accurate. And one can argue here that white should have enough play in such a position because of the weakness here. But black pawns can start moving, firstly. Secondly, I worry about this knight on b2. Where does the knight go? It's a bit passive. Rook c6 played. The rook is eyeing this d6 pawn, the c7 bishop. Rook comes back to f7. And queen to c3 played. The queen is looking here. The rook is looking here. Rook comes to c8. And we have pawn to a4. A nice move. Opening up the queen side. Pawn takes pawn. And you can take back with the knight. But that would be a blunder because of bishop d7. And you lose a piece. So knight c4, Vaishali trying to somehow muddy the waters. Maybe a small error here. Queen f8 defending this firmly would have been much better. But bishop d7, now knight d6. Incredible move. If you take here, knight c8, some complications, but white should be okay. She takes on d6. And now Vaishali has seen it here. Rook takes d6, beautiful move. And you know, with all her time pressure, she has 54 seconds here. Vaishali doing a good job. Queen takes c6. Bishop takes, and now she's kind of equalized this position with rook takes d8. King at 7 is possible, but Bibisara goes rook f8, offering a rook trade. And Vaishali takes. King takes. And now a very decent move is f4 to get the d4 square to stop the a pawn. And that's what she does. Pawn to f4, a very nice move. Bibisara takes. Bishop takes. And pawn to a3. And king comes up. You have king f7. And bishop c1. Just stopping the pawn here. Opposite colored bishop positions are notorious for their drawing tendencies, and this is what is happening. g6, g3 played. King e6. And now king e3. The king moves up, keeps moving upwards. And king to d5. You have bishop a1 and a draw is agreed on move 41. A very nice game, I must say. Bibisara was very close to actually outwitting Vaishali, but Vaishali kept her cool, created her chances in the center in those complications which ensued, and managed to get home the point, the half point that was there. This was the moment where I think Bibisara could have improved her play with queen f8, because if knight takes d6 here, bishop d6, if rook d6, you have the very nice queen takes d6, which is winning, because rook takes c8, bishop takes, queen takes, and your exchange up as black. So there were these nice tactics after queen f8, but queen f8 is not an easy move to find, which is why she went bishop d7. But after knight d6, I think Vaishali was out of the woods here, and a good start. Let's hope that Vaishali continues her momentum in the next games as well.